So students, today we'll be dealing with the last chapter of corporate accounting, that is holding company. So holding company is a company which has acquired a majority of share in another company. So here majority of share, I mean by it should be more than 51% of the share in another company. Such company is called as holding company. The company in which it has acquired more than 51% of share is called as subsidiary company. So let me explain you with the help of example. Just take an example. If company A has acquired 75% of share in company B. So the example says that company A has acquired 75% of shares in company B. So here company A becomes the holding company and company B becomes the subsidiary company. So this is the meaning of holding company. So once we are done with the meaning, the next important term used in holding company is capital profit. So capital profit is nothing but any profit which a subsidiary company makes before it has been acquired by any other company. I repeat, capital profit is nothing but any profit a subsidiary company makes before the date of acquiring the shares of holding company. So any profit made by the subsidiary company before the holding company acquires it is called as capital profit. Taking the example, any profit made by company B before company A acquires it is called as capital profit. So we have both capital profit as well as capital reserve. So meaning of capital reserve is also same. Any reserves a subsidiary company is having before the holding company acquires it, it is called as capital reserve. So coming to capital reserve. So here in holding company we have something called as pre-acquisition profit and pre-acquisition reserve. The meaning is again same for both. So here next is nothing but the accounting treatment for capital profit or loss. So if the company has made capital profit it will be if the company has made capital profit, this capital profit will be transferred to capital reserve account. So if the company makes any capital loss, it will be transferred to goodwill account. It will be deducted from the goodwill amount. I refer capital profit is nothing but pre-acquisition profit plus pre-acquisition reserve. You will get your capital profit or capital loss. So capital profit, transfer it to capital reserve account. If you are getting a capital loss, just deduct it from the goodwill amount. So I will explain you this. When you are doing a sum, you will get a thorough explanation why we are doing it. Then we have something called as revenue profit. So any profit or any reserve made by the subsidiary company after its acquisition is called as revenue profit. I repeat, any profit or reserve a subsidiary company is having after it has been acquired by any other company is called as revenue profit. So coming back to the example, any profit made by company B after it has been acquired by company A, it is called as revenue profit. Revenue profit. Now coming to the accounting treatment of revenue profit. So revenue profit is distributed among the holding company and shareholders, minority shareholder. So this revenue profit is always distributed between both holding company and subsidiary company in a given ratio. But if you are having a revenue loss, then this amount will be deducted from holding company's P&L account. I repeat, if you are having earning revenue profit, this will be distributed among both holding company and subsidiary company in a given. You are having 1 lakh as general reserve. So you all remember X Limited had acquired Y Limited on October. So any general reserve transferred till September to Y company will be called as pre-acquisition reserve. So we'll do a working note. So general reserve of the current year is 1 lakh. So our year will start from 1st April 2016. The X company has acquired Y company on 1st 10th 2016. A closing date of the financial is 31st March 2017. So from 1st April to 1st October, how many months are there? So April, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So there are totally, from April. So January, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So there are 6 months. So your prior you are having 6 months, and post starting from 10 October, November, December, January, February, March. So after post you are having 6 months. So divide this 1 lakh between the month, that is pre-acquisition reserve is nothing but 1 lakh into 6 divided by 12, it is 50,000. Post acquisition reserve will be 1 lakh into 6 divided by 12, that is again 50,000. So total pre-acquisition reserve is 50,000, that is your opening, plus 50,000 of the current year. So total we are having 1 lakh as pre-acquisition reserve. This 1 lakh divide into 3:2 ratio. I repeat, this 1 lakh has to be divided into 3:2 ratio. So 1 lakh into 3 divided by 5, you will get 60,000 for X Limited. 1 lakh minus 60,000, 40,000 general reserve is for Y Limited. Coming to post acquisition general reserve. So post acquisition you are having only 50,000. So post acquisition general reserve in total column write 50,000. Divide this 50,000 into 3:2 ratio. So 50,000 into 3 divided by 5, you will get 30,000 for company B and 20,000 for company Y. So this is about your general reserve. Next will be your profit and loss account. So in this profit and loss account also we are going to bifurcate into pre-acquisition profit and loss and post-acquisition profit and loss. Now coming to the working note, that is calculation of pre and post acquisition profit and loss. Again we make three commentaries here. Starting of financial year is 1st April 2006. Date of acquisition is 1st October 2016 and end of financial year is 31st March 2016 as per your question. So from 1st April to before till September we are having 6 months. From acquisition to the ending date we are remaining with 6 months. So coming to first pre-acquisition profit. So here you are having two amount, that is first profit and loss account on 1st for 2006 is nothing but your opening balance of 25,000. So this 25,000 is nothing but your pre-acquisition profit. So it will come under pre-acquisition profit as 25,000. Again one more amount you are having, total profit for the year it is 62,500. Means from 1st April to 31st March 2017 you have earned total 62,500 as profit. From the 62,500 we have to find out how much profit we have earned before October or before acquisition month. So for that we will do is 62,500 into pre-acquisition month. How many months we are having before acquisition is 6 months. So 62,500 into 6 divided by 12 you will get into 6 divided by 12 you will get it as 31,250. So add 25,000 plus 31,250 you will get total 56,250 as your total pre-acquisition profit. So write it in the pre-acquisition column as 56,250. Divide this 56,250 into 3:2 ratio. That is 56,250 into 3 divided by 5. You will get 33,750 for company X and for company Y is remaining with 22,500. That is nothing but 56,250 minus 33,750. Now coming to your post acquisition profit, we will do the same. Post acquisition profit is equal to 62,500 multiplied by how many months we are having after acquisition is from October to March we are having 6 months. So 6 divided by 12 you will get again 31,250 as your post acquisition profit. Write it in the post acquisition column as 31,250. Now divide this 31,250 into 3:2 ratio. So 31,250 into 3 divided by 5. For company X you will get 18,750 as your answer. So 31,250 minus 18,750. So Y company is remaining with 12,500 as the post acquisition profit. Now add all this amount, you will get the minority interest. So minority interest is nothing but the value of investment or stake for Y Limited in the total acquisition. So your minority interest will be add all the columns. So total this column 1,25,000 plus 1 lakh plus 50, 56,250 plus 31,250, you will get your total as 3,62,500. Add this column, you will get your total as 2,17,250. And at the last column you will get 1,45,000 as your total. It is nothing but your minority interest. So this will end your first sum. Coming to your second sum, this question was asked in the year 2015. So they have said that Akka Limited has purchased 80% of equity share at rupees 150 per share of Amma Limited on 1st April 2013. Following is the data as on 31st March 2014 is given to you. That is, your opening financial year is April and ending is March. So they have acquired the company on 1st April itself. As soon as the financial year starts, you are going to acquire the Amma Limited. So the financial position of Amma Limited at the end of year is, it is having 5,000 equity share of rupees 100 each, costing you 5 lakh. Reserves and surplus they have given you. Current liabilities, fixed asset, they have also said the discount on issue of share is 50,000. They have asked you to calculate the cost of control and minority interest. So let's go. So here one thing you have to remember here, there will be no pre-acquisition profit and pre-acquisition reserve. The reason is the Akka Limited has acquired the company on 1st April itself. That's the reason we don't require to make any bifurcation between pre and post acquisition profit and reserve. So let's go for the calculation of minority interest. Calculation of minority interest. Make two columns, particular and amount column. So here they have given you information only regarding the Amma Limited, that is a subsidiary company. So as you can see in the question, they have said that Akka Limited has purchased 80% of equity share of Amma Limited. So total share in Amma Limited are 5,000 equity share. Out of this 5,000 equity share, 80% has been purchased by Akka Limited. So Amma Limited is only remaining with 20% of the share. So let's go for the calculation of share capital. So as 80% has been purchased by Akka Limited, so Amma Limited is remaining only with 20%. So 5,000, 20% will be 1,000 share. So the face value of share is 100 as given in the question. So Amma Limited is having 1 lakh rupees worth of share remaining with itself. Then go for general reserve. Here we are not going to bifurcate between pre-acquisition and post-acquisition general reserve. So coming to the question, they have said that the general reserve is rupees 1 lakh. So of this rupees 1 lakh, 80% of it is with Akka Limited. I repeat, of this 1 lakh, 80% is with Akka Limited. So Amma Limited is only remaining with 20%. So 1 lakh's 20% will be 20,000. Then coming to profit and loss. Coming to the profit and loss. So given in the surplus is nothing but your profit and loss. So given here it is, you are having 1,50,000. Of this 1,50,000 is with 80% is with Akka Limited. So Amma Limited is having only 20%. So 1,50,000 into 20% will amount to 30,000. Add all this, you will get a total of 1,50,000 to this less discount on share. So total discount on share was 50,000. So this 50,000 into 20% will be 10,000. So 1,50,000 minus 10,000, the minority interest is 1,40,000. Now coming to the calculation of cost of control. We will start with first investment of Akka Limited in shares of Amma Limited. It's nothing but how many shares and at what price Akka Limited has purchased from Amma Limited. So in the question they have said Akka Limited has purchased 80% of equity share or at rupees 150 per share of Amma Limited. So 80% of 5,000 will be 4,000 equity share and it is purchasing at rupees 150 per share. So 4 lakh into 150, it will amount to 6 lakhs. So what's less? Less the face value of the equity share of Amma Limited. Akka Limited has purchased at 150 per share. But what was the actual price? Rupees 100 each. So here it will be 4,000 into 100 is nothing but your 4 lakh. So 6 lakh minus 4 lakh. 2 lakh will be your capital loss or the cost of control. This capital loss of 2 lakhs will be deducted from the goodwill in the calculation. So I will end the video here. In the next video, I will be solving some 15 mark sums which are important for your examination. So I have sent you all the PDF. I want you all to solve the PDF and your 5 years question paper for 5 marks. If you have any doubts, you all can ask me.